This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I'm your host, Eid. And today we have a game of Benchwarmers, a game featuring Benchwarmers Scott and Taco. We'll be taking on one David Lux and equipment manager on our Patreon team, Austin Owens. Owings, I apologize. Thanks for coming back, Austin. Why don't you take a minute, remind us who you are, and any fun facts you want to share with us about your, I guess, two dogs and a random safe that's behind you.
Yeah, Austin, so it's good to be back. Third episode. Hopefully I can get a win this time. I'm a Mariners Oregon State fan, so sad sports for me. Ravens just the letdown of the century this year. So hopefully this trivia game goes better than my sports fandom, and I'm ready to turn it up, get a win.
David?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here with Austin. And Austin actually came up with our team name, so I'm going to kick it right back to him for to share the team name.
Yeah, big fan of big man salute, especially in football. I was one back in my time, and so we are going to be Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards.
It's a trap. I have a shirt that says that. I'm pretty sure every Star Wars fan owns a shirt that says it's a trap.
Yes.
Or owns a shirt that says Han shot first.
Yes.
It's one or the other.
One or the other.
Sometimes both.
Yes. Over to Scott and Taco. How you gentlemen doing?
I'll go first because I think our team name should be given by Taco. We kind of both collaborated on it. I'm good. Not a lot to report here. I was supposed to play softball last night, and then about 15 minutes before I left for the game, I get a call from the league commissioner and says, "Game's off. There's been a drive-by shooting at the park." So I was like, "Oh, all right. Guess I have a night off." That was nice. And then 10 minutes after that, I get a call saying, "Just kidding. They cleared. We're good to go." And then my team decided, yeah, we're good. We're not going to play rec league softball where there could be some retaliation. So no softball for me last night. So don't have much to update, but that's my life.
All right. And Taco?
And I'm good. I'm still on summer vacation. I'm finding new ways to occupy my time. So I started rewatching The Muppet Show, and it's a fantastic choice. I can't recommend it enough. Our team name tonight, because, well, we're dating the recording of this podcast, but we just got the news less than 20 minutes ago that Willie Mays has passed away at the age of 93. And as a Giants fan, that's a big one. We've been very lucky to have Willie with us in the organization as long as we have. And so in honor of the Say Hey Kid, Scott and my team name tonight will be the Say Hey Kids.
Oh, before I throw it over to Dan, I'm going to apologize because I thought he's already passed. Anyway. All right. Hey, Dan, hit us with the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
All right, today's first quarter will be pre- and post-game.
Pre- and post-game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, the answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
All right, question number 1. Vols running back who won the AP Offensive Rookie of the year following a quarterback that never plays well in big games, but still yet makes a ton of money, and he doesn't deserve it and probably get a raise all because he can throw for 400 yards against trash teams. Yeah, I'm not bitter. And was Paige Rose's brother.
All right, we're gonna check in.
All right, say hey kids have checked in. That means Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards can talk it out.
All right, so his rant is about Dak Prescott, obviously, and this is the person who won the year. Prescott would have won in somewhere between 15 or 16. And we're looking for Vols running back who won the year following.
Oh, it's Alvin Kamara Ramon.
That's perfect. Alvin Kamara went to Tennessee. He was definitely an
Yeah.
SEC. Is that right? Okay, so that would be Alvin Kamara Ramon Martinez. Sorry, some a little trouble there. Yes, we'll check in with that.
Okay, and say hey kids.
Yeah, same thing. And since he says it's okay to say Kamara or Kamara, we'll just say Alvin Kamara Ramon Martinez.
All right, both teams getting their points here. The correct answer is Alvin Kamara Martinez. Yeah, Dak Prescott's not good. All right, let's move on to question 2.
I hope every question tonight has a Dak Prescott rant in the middle of it.
I tried, but I got tired after the first one.
Wait till the missing link in the second quarter where the answers are Dak
Oh.
Prescott, Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott.
And Mark shot. All right, question number 2. Quarterback that replaced the American underdog and the Rams running back that won the 1993 Offensive Rookie of the Year.
We will check in.
All right. The Say Hey Kids have checked in. That means Admiral Akbar, you guys can talk it out.
Replacing Warner.
He doesn't say where.
Doesn't say where. Rams running back 93.
Okay, I know who that is. That's Jerome Bettis. Yeah. So Jerome. Oh, Bulger, maybe Mark Bulger, Jerome Bettis.
Mark Bulger did play in St. Louis.
No, that makes sense. Okay, we'll check that in.
All right. And Say Hey Kids.
We have the same Mark Jerome Bettis.
And both teams getting their points. Correct answer, Mark Jerome Bettis. And most people don't know this, but Jerome Bettis won the 1993 Rookie of the Year, and then Dak Prescott's still garbage. Football season's coming. I'm just super optimistic about nothing.
I think Cowboys hate is just appreciated everywhere.
Is it? It's just a lot of self-hate on my side now. All right, question number 3. Lobo linebacker that won the Defensive Rookie of the Year and a smooth right-handed Dominican pitcher with over 150 career wins in his 16-year career. Most coming in 2010 when he won 17 games for the Angels.
We're checked in.
All right, Say Hey Kids have checked in. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards. Talk it out.
So you think the Angels pitcher is Irvin Santana?
Has to be based on the smooth clue, right? Oh, the only person who went to New Mexico is not the only person, but the linebacker.
The only person that went to New Mexico.
Urlacher. Brian Irvin Santana. He's just trying to make me sound bad because I can't say any of these.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Yeah. All right, we'll check that in.
All right, Say Hey Kids.
Yeah, was stuck on the Angels pitcher for a moment there, trying to figure out what smooth meant, and I was like, was there a guy named Operator? Then I was like, smooth is like smooth jazz, but like Jazz Chisholm, that doesn't work. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Eric thinks of the same thing that I do when I think smooth, which is the song. So then I was like, oh yeah, it's got to be Irvin Santana. So we also checked in with Brian Irvin Santana.
Both teams getting the points. The correct answer is Brian Irvin Santana. And no, I won't. I'm not gonna just keep throwing trash on Dak Prescott. Because why would I cover him with himself?
Would Irvin Santana be a better NFL quarterback than Dak Prescott?
Yes.
Great.
All right. Question number 4. Australian golfer with only one major win as of today, coming in 2016, and a Jayhawk defensive tackle who was the 1993 Defensive Rookie of the Year and the 1997 Defensive Player of the Year.
We will check in.
Say Hey Kids have checked in again. That means Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards have some time to talk this out.
Okay. Name some Australian golfers. Adam Scott, but I think he might have more than one major. Greg Norman, but he's way retired at this point, so that can't be him. Jason Day.
Jason Day is the next guy on my mind. I know he was hot for a while. but he might have won events, but only one major.
He could have easily won a major. He could have won a major. I don't think he won a Masters, but
Right.
he could have easily won the PGA or something that nobody pays attention to unless you're Eric Walling. Let's see. Defensive Dana Stubblefield. Jason Dana Stubblefield. Yeah.
Send it.
It would have been the 90s, so that sounds about right. I don't have any memory of him going to Kansas, but it's plausible. All right. We'll check in with Jason Dana Stubblefield.
And say, hey, kids.
Scott and I had a Wonder Twins thing where Scott typed Dana Stubblefield at the exact same time I typed Jason Day, and the answer just sort of melded together in the middle. So we also checked in with Jason Dana Stubblefield.
And both teams getting their points. That is Jason Dana Stubblefield. And speaking of the field, Dak Prescott should never be on it again. Sorry. That's all. I'm done. I'm not doing any more. It's whatever. Anyway. All right. After the first quarter, we have a tie. It's 100 to 100 because everyone got their questions right.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
So on to the second quarter, and today's second quarter will be the missing link.
The missing link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
How many Dak Prescott references can we get in one missing link?
Oh, trust me, I'm working on that. It's not this episode, though. So
The link is quarterbacks that are better than Dak Prescott.
oh my
That
god,
can be any 5 answers, and
That's
it's
right. Answer number 1, David Lux.
All right, question number 1. This former player turned coach is the first Heisman Trophy winning coach to coach a Heisman Trophy winner. And during his college coaching career, his team is the only college football team to score at least 500 points, including bowl games, for 4 consecutive years.
We will check in.
Say Hey Kid has checked in. That means we get to listen to David and Austin talk it out again.
I messaged Austin and I said that I feel like I've heard this before, and I feel like the answer is Steve Spurrier.
Who would he have won? Who would have been his winner?
Werfel, maybe?
Oh, at Florida, yeah. I
Yeah.
had my brain set up. He might have put up his points at South Carolina because
That's true. Right? He doesn't say it was the same school.
All sorts of points and never won anything.
All right, we'll check in with Steve Spurrier.
All right, and say hey kids.
The first name that comes to mind when you say Heisman Trophy winner that became a coach is Steve Spurrier, and then the rest of that lined up, like David said, he coached Danny Werfel at Florida, and his offenses were renowned for a time. So we also checked in with Steve Spurrier.
Both teams getting their points. Yes, the correct answer is Steve Spurrier. And the 500 points in 4 consecutive years was with Florida. And I'm pretty sure he put up like 500 points in his NFL preseason, but not so much in the regular season. So far, theme-linked answers. Steve Spurrier. Question number 2. This pitcher with the nickname Uncle Charlie spent his entire career with one team, recording exactly 200 wins. During his last season, he would sing the national anthem before the opening day game.
We'll check in.
All right. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards has checked in and say, hey, kids, can talk it out for the first time.
Yeah, so breaking this down, I said to Taco, not a lot of guys pitch for one team. Taco said they won 200 games. I said, this seems old-timey, but Ede wouldn't do that. And then Taco said, old for Ede is the 90s. So then with that, I typed Chuck Finley because he's a guy that I think of from the 90s.
Yeah, I don't I don't hate that answer. I can't picture him on anybody else but the Angels. 200. I mean, he had a long enough career where he could have conceivably got there.
Yeah, and like Chuck and Charlie seems like a nickname that would work.
For sure.
Uncle Charlie is like also like that's what they call like a curveball. And I know he was a guy, he threw good off speed stuff.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to come up with anything better, so I say we go for it.
All right. We're gonna check in with Chuck Finley.
All right. And over to Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards.
I remember that Adam Wainwright retired with exactly 200 wins, and Uncle Charlie, I think, was a nickname they gave to a lot of people. Anybody who threw a curveball at some point got called Uncle Charlie. So, but I'm pretty sure the answer is Adam Wainwright. So that's what we checked in with.
All right. One team getting their points here. The correct answer is Adam Wainwright. His other nickname probably would have given it away is Wayno.
Wayno, yeah.
Mm.
It also Johnny Depp tattoo, right? Wayno forever. No, okay.
I got the reference, Scott.
Thank you, Taco.
Sheesh.
All right. So far, theme linked answers: Steve Spurrier and Adam Wainwright. On to question number 3. What quarterback and Husky legend would play in the NFL for 17 seasons and lead one of his many teams to a Super Bowl, where he would lose to a team that won the Super Bowl the year before? His nickname is a song by Sia or an ornamental lighting device.
We're gonna check in.
Say, hey kids, checked in. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards talk it out.
Well, I'm proud to say that I got the Sia reference.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's got to be Chandelier. The only person I could think of that would be named Chandelier, although I don't remember him having this nickname, but Chandelier is a clear play on Chandler. I know Chris Chandler went to UW.
What team that won 2 Super Bowls would he have played?
Must have been the Broncos. So right, it would have been the Broncos.
Late 90s.
Which would make sense. I don't know why he worded it that way. He should have said he lost to a team that was winning their second straight Super Bowl. But okay. But it's got to be Chris Chandler. It's got to be.
All right, and say hey kids.
Immediately went to the Falcons, and I was like, oh yeah, Chris Chandler. And 17 seasons actually sounds about right for him, and he did play for a ton of teams, and he did say many teams. So we also checked in with Chris Chandler.
All right. Both teams getting their points here. His nickname was Crystal Chandelier. The correct answer is Chris Chandler because he was injured all the time.
Didn't that Falcons team have like a really dramatic kick that affected
No, they didn't have that kick. Don't bring that up here.
You meant like there was a kick in a game.
Yes, Gary Anderson missed his only kick that entire season to send the Falcons.
Hashtag too much Minnesota.
Sorry, Dan. I don't think he listens anymore, to be honest. All right. So far, theme linked answers: Steve Spurrier, Adam Wainwright, and Chris Chandler. We'll move on to question number 4. According to ranker.com, this linebacker is the most famous person with his last name. Other famous.
That's it. Oh, I thought that was a question.
I forgot I even wrote this question. I'm sorry. All right. Other famous people with this last name include Luis, Art, and Tom. He played for 16 years and never missed a game. I apologize. Probably the worst question I've ever written in my life.
We will check in.
All right. Say, hey, kids have checked in. That means Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards have some time to talk this out.
I'm thinking of but the thing is, I don't know any of those other names line up with that.
What's the name you're thinking of?
London Fletcher.
Oh, Luis. Okay, I can tell you. Okay, I got one of those. Luis Fletcher is the one who played Nurse Cratchit in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She won Best Actress in like 1976.
Okay.
What? What are you laughing at?
Oldest thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
What? Nothing. Wait, say that again.
It's the oldest thing.
Oh my God! If you've never seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that's a classic. You need to see that. I have no idea who Art Fletcher is, but he sounds like an old-time baseball player. Tom Fletcher, I got nothing. I have no idea who that is.
I don't know of London Fletcher. I mean, to say ever having injury problems would be an understatement if he never missed a game, but he did play for a long time.
Right, which linebackers typically don't.
Retired. Because he was in Washington and Philadelphia.
He retired like 10 years ago, but still, he did play for a long time. And I agree. I don't remember him having injury problems.
I think he was on the Eagles when they were good the first time. Well, the second time. but I just don't know if that name lines up with any of those others. It's just the only like early 2000s linebacker kind of lines up with the number of years possible to play.
I think that sounds good. I mean, like I said, I don't know who those other two people are, but Louise Fletcher would be she'd be not as famous as London Fletcher, but except for to me apparently. So
you named everything about her that anyone's ever known, and in a span of 4 seconds.
All right, let's check in with London Fletcher.
All right, and say hey, kids.
All right. So, first of all, it's not Nurse Cratchit. It's Nurse Ratched.
Oh, sorry. I
Bob
everything.
Cratchit is from Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, sorry. Oh, God.
So,
Taco, he's Jewish. It's fine. It's a pass.
that's fair. Yeah. We also, I couldn't place where Louise Fletcher was from, but I knew that she was a person of note. And Scott confirmed, because he has actual sports knowledge, that he's pretty sure London Fletcher didn't miss a game. So we also checked in with London Fletcher.
See, this question is for non-sports fans that listen to our podcast by accident, because they're like, "Oh, Luis, that's definitely Fletcher." Because how many other anyway? Yes, both teams getting their points here. The correct answer is London Fletcher. And if you ever look at his stat lines here, his rookie season, he started one game but played in all 16. His second season, he started 16, played in all 16. For some reason, his third year, he started 15, but played in all 16. And then from there on out, 16 and 16, started every game, every season. All right. Themed linked answers. Steve Spurrier, Adam Wainwright, Chris Chandler, and London Fletcher. And we will go right to question 5 here. This pitcher is a former Cy Young winner and a 2-time World Series champion. After Tommy John surgery, he would return to win Comeback Player of the Year in 2009.
We will check in.
All right. Admiral Eckhart Strap pulling cards checked in. Say, hey, kids, talk it out.
Okay.
All right. My way to get there is just Cy Young and 2 World Series champions, because I do not remember who won Comeback Player of the Year in 2009.
Right. So which teams would have won a multiple World Series in
Boston,
like the 2000s? Boston.
Let's see. Well, Yankees. The Yankees do have 2, but they're 9 years apart.
They're way far apart.
Yeah.
So maybe it was somebody that was on multiple.
It would have to be. Oh, what about? Oh, he never won a Cy Young. Never mind. I was gonna say Josh Beckett.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I thought
He
about
fits
him too.
everything, but he didn't win a Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not him. Yeah, it could be someone who was on like one of the Florida teams,
right?
Or that 03 Florida team.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be he won 2 World Series before Tommy John surgery.
No, right, exactly.
So what about Cardinals?
Chris Carpenter?
Yes. That's the guy I was thinking of.
He won a Cy Young.
He's won a Cy Young.
They won in 2006 and in 11. Yeah, he was on both those teams.
Okay, we will check in Chris Carpenter.
Okay, and over to Admiral Akbar.
Well, I guess we can say at this point we reverse engineered this from the theme and just went from that. So we also checked in with Chris Carpenter.
All right, both teams getting their points. Yes, the correct answer is Chris Carpenter. Yeah, he missed almost like 2 full seasons, 2007, 2008, with a lot of injuries there. He came back in 2009 and won the Comeback Player of the Year, and I think the NL ERA leader that season as well. All right, theme linked answers: Steve Spurrier, Adam Wainwright, Chris Chandler, London Fletcher, and Chris Carpenter. I will say this: we had a team check in after the 3rd question, and that was "Say Hey Kids." And what was your theme link guess?
First with Steve Spurrier, the thought was, well, it has to be Steve because Spurrier is a very narrow and there's not a whole lot going on with Spurrier. But then as soon as Wainwright came by, that immediately led to occupational names, which was only confirmed by London Fletcher and Chris Carpenter. We, full disclosure, Scott and I both recalled the answer to question 5. We were both wrong. I said Cynthia Cooper. He said Dee Milliner. That was disappointing that we didn't get that right. But yeah, so we went with occupational names.
Home Run Baker? No?
Yep.
Would have worked.
Well, what's funny about that is his name was actually London Fletcher Baker at one point. So he actually fits twice.
He does. So, a spurrier is somebody that makes spurs. A wainwright is someone that repairs wagons and or carts.
They don't make wains.
They they don't. A chandler. Anybody know what a chandler is? They are a maker or seller of tallow or wax candles and usually soap. And then a fletcher is someone that makes arrows. And a carpenter. Anybody?
They make carpets.
They do stuff.
I was confused for a second. Instead of asking us what job a Chandler has, I thought you were asking what job Chandler
Has, yeah.
Right.
Transponster.
A transponsor.
Yeah, he's a transponster.
That was the hardest one to find as far as like, I knew it was a job, but typing it into Google, that's all I got back was the actual Chandler from Friends job.
Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome.
And does anybody know what Dak Prescott's job is?
Making your life miserable.
He's doing really good.
And he gets well paid for his work.
All right. So after the second quarter, we have Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards with 230. And after that early missing link guess, Say Hey Kids have the lead with 260. That brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions. Each question is worth 25 points.
And it went over so well last time, I'm going to do it again. And when I say it went over so well, I don't even know if it did or not because no one told me, but I assumed it did. We're going to do Finish the Weird Al lyrics.
Oh, jeez.
That's right, NFL. If you won't put them at your halftime at the Super Bowl, I'm putting them in the halftime of every game I do.
How have we not gotten a cameo of Weird Al yet?
We should work on that.
That the next Benchies?
I hope so. All right. So question 1, finish the Weird Al lyrics. I'll tell you the number of words you need to give me. These are all fairly easy. So question 1, I just need one word. And here are the lyrics. Keep your 40. I'll just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin. To the contrary, you'll find that they're quite stationary. All my action figures are blank.
Checked in.
Say Hey Kids have checked in. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards. Talk it out.
Okay, I know this is from White and Nerdy, and I know from personal experience. So, oh my God, I can hear this in my head, and I still don't know what the word is. Contrary, stationary. It's gotta be
Right. I just can't.
Proud Mary.
My action figures are Proud Mary.
I don't hate it.
It's a very specific collection.
Let's see. All my action figures are Cable Guy Larry. Let's see.
It's relevant for the time.
Like Godmother Fairy. The problem is he said it's one word, so that doesn't. None of these are helping. I'm gonna. Scary. I mean, why would my action figures be scary? This is the worst talk out ever. Austin, I need some help here.
I know.
You got to bail me out.
I got nothing, unfortunately.
Gary,
Fairies.
Gary, Larry, Mary, Cherry.
Oh my God!
Cherry?
It's rhyme time with David Lux.
Cherry. Does that mean anything? Like, why would you? I don't know why that would make it. I mean, it rhymes, but I don't know why that would make any sense. What's a cherry berry? I don't know. I got nothing else. I really don't know this.
Manilow. They're all Manilow.
You want to go with fairy?
Oh,
but that doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
sense because it won't rhyme.
No,
Because it wouldn't be grammatically correct, right? All my action figures are fairies. Like it doesn't.
I could have cut this off a while ago, but I'm going to let it go.
All right. No, I don't think you should let it go. Austin, whatever you want. I've got nothing.
Proud Mary, first one.
Okay.
First instinct.
Hyphenated. Proud Mary.
All right. And Say Hey Kids.
Yeah, this was. I said the last time you did this, if it's not White and Nerdy, I have no shot. And it happened to be White and Nerdy this time, so that was perfect for me.
It's a fix.
So thank you. David, you said it. It was one of your rhyming words. All of his action figures are cherry. We checked in with cherry.
One
No
team
way.
getting their points. The correct answer is Cherry.
No way.
I just realized the reference. I wasn't thinking
Cherry
about it
meaning
the right
like
way.
pristine. Like
I know.
Yeah.
I just figured it out now. When I said it before, it didn't click, but now, of course, it clicks. I'm an idiot. Sorry, Austin. That's on me. I should have had that.
It's okay. It's all good.
All right. Question number 2. I need one word. Will maple syrup and snows what they export? They treat curling just like it's a real sport. They think their silly accent is so cute. Can't understand a thing. They're talking blank.
We'll check in.
Damn it.
All right. Say Hey Kids have checked in. Admiral Akbar, talk it out, please.
This is Canadian idiot.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Maple syrup, something they export.
They treat curling like it's a real sport. They
Can't
keep their
understand.
silly accents so cute.
It's a boot.
A boot. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Silly Canadians. All right, a boot. Check that in.
Wow. Say it, kids. Answer, please.
Yeah, you bunch of hosers. We also checked in with a boot.
All right, both teams getting their points here. Yes, the correct answer is a boot. Also rhymes with toque. Anybody know what a toque is?
Is that someone that makes? No, oh, sorry, wrong question.
A toucaneer makes toques.
Yes.
Yes. The old Tampa Bay Toucaneers.
The Tampa Bay toucaneer.
Isn't a toque in Canada like what people down here call a toboggan? It's a knitted hat, right?
A toboggan.
Toboggan's a sled.
Up north, a toboggan is yes, but down here, when people talk about a toboggan, it means like a hat.
Down
What?
here. Well, I'm never
Where
going
do you
down there
live?
then. Yeah. What?
Look, you look it up if you don't believe me. This is what I hear down here. So
You know what? No, I'm not even surprised because they have fish hot dogs down there too. So
that's true.
let's move on to the third question at halftime. This one, I need 5 words.
Oh boy.
Gump was a big celebrity. He told JFK that he really had to pee. He never feels too dumb because his mama always told him blank.
We'll check in.
All right. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards have checked in and say, hey, kids, talk it out.
Well, it's Forrest Gump's mom's catchphrase. Stupid is as stupid does. So that's what we checked in with.
All right. Admiral Akbar.
Same thing.
You got it. Both teams getting their points here. Correct answer is stupid is as stupid does. And you know what wasn't stupid at halftime? Everyone enjoyed it. I don't care what you say. All right. After halftime, score update. We have Say Hey Kids, 335, and trailing slightly, Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards with 280. And that brings us to the third quarter. And today's third quarter will be 5-on-3.
Five on 3. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized lists containing 5 items, where each item is worth 10 points. The teams will attempt to guess as many items as they can. However, if a team has an incorrect guess, they will receive 0 points for that list.
In today's 5-on-3, we're doing the quarterbacks again. I'm just going to pick the 3 teams.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm not letting anybody pick this time because we're going to have teams that will never get used if I just let everybody pick everything.
Yeah, no one's ever picking the Browns or the Bears.
Guess what?
We played the Bears last.
We used the Bears
episode.
last
Oh,
time.
we
You were
did.
there, Scott.
That's
You were
right.
there.
Yep. Eric Kramer. Yep.
All right. So the teams that have been used have been the Chargers, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Bengals, the Ravens, Packers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Rams, Bills, Jaguars, and Bears. You know what? We're going to kick it off with the Atlanta Falcons. So question 1, single season touchdown leaders for the Atlanta Falcons.
We're publicly announcing we're checking in right now with 4.
All right, Admiral Akbar's
Wow.
checking in with 4. Say, hey, kids, I'm going to need an answer.
Okay, so we're in the middle of discussing Chris Miller, and I'm explaining Chris Miller to Scott.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was an Oregon quarterback. It was probably around like 1990. He had some good early years for the Falcons, and then I think like concussions took him out. But his those early 90s seasons, one of them might have cracked the list maybe, because otherwise it's like we're at like Matt Ryan, Michael Vick, Chris Chandler, maybe Bartkowski I think is on there.
Yeah. I mean, all jokes aside, he was really good in the 98 season when they went to Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they had good receivers. Right. They had like Sean Jefferson. They had Tony Martin, I think was his name. Like they had a pretty good receiving.
I think Chandler's on there. I think we're kind of just debating the 5th. I'm okay just going with
they did 4, so
those top 4.
And we know they did 4.
Right. Because
So
they
I'm okay.
announced it.
I'm okay doing 4.
Okay, so are we going Ryan, Vick, Chandler, Bartkowski?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to check in those 4.
Ryan, Vic, Chandler, Barkowski. And over
They
to
all sound like names. Ryan Vick, Chandler Bartkowski.
Chandler
sounds like a
Bartkowski.
guy.
Isn't it
That
county
guy-
in New
yeah.
Jersey somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Admiral Akbar. What do you got?
Well, this is really going to be on me because our guest threw out Vic, and I vetoed it and said that he played in an era when guys, like he was a running quarterback in an era when guys weren't running yet. So I said I didn't believe it. So now I'm feeling really guilty if this is right. But we checked in with Ryan Bartkowski, Chandler, and yeah, Chris Miller was the quarterback when I was in the Oregon Ducks quarterback when I was in high school. So right up the road. Yep.
So what was your list?
Ryan Bartkowski, Miller, and Chris Chandler.
Okay. All right. So starting at the top, we have Matt Ryan in 2016, passed for 38 touchdowns. So he's number one. In 1980 with 31 touchdowns, we have Steve Bartkowski. In 1991, 26 touchdowns, Chris Miller. And this list actually has 6 to it because there are 2 tied for 5th. But in 4th, we have Chris Chandler with 25 touchdowns in 1998. And in 1995, with 24 touchdowns, we have Jeff George.
Oh,
They're
The
good.
one tied
we,
with him.
we mentioned him.
Tied with 24 touchdowns. I'm going to tell you the year, and you're going to know it's not Michael Vick because in 1993 with 24 touchdowns, it was Bobby Bear. Michael Vick maxed out with 20 touchdowns, was the most he ever passed for the Falcons.
Bobby who?
Bear.
Oh, okay. We bear Barretts. Yeah, got it. Okay.
All right. So one team getting their points on that one. And that would be Admiral Akbar's trap.
Eric, who was the other big receiver that Chandler had in '98?
It was Terrence Mathis.
That's it, Terrence Mathis. Yep.
Yeah. He was actually, if you look at it, Chandler career touchdown passes through the most to Terrence Mathis.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go on to question number 2. And the team we're going to use for this one, we're going to go with the Miami Dolphins.
Did we do that last time?
We did not.
I think Scott and I almost picked them, and I think we decided to.
Yeah, I think
You went with the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. But we were down to the Jaguars and the Dolphins.
we wanted to afford a team. Yeah, yeah. And we didn't want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so we,
All right, we'll check in.
All right. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards checked in. Say, hey, kids, I'm going to need an answer.
Okay, so I think we feel fairly solid about Marino, Tua, Tannehill, and David's gimme of Ryan Fitzpatrick. As far as a 5th, there's a lot of mediocre and sketchy options, and I don't know if you want to go for any of them or not, or you're fine with those 4.
I think we got to go those 4 because the other names I don't feel confident enough about. Jay Fiedler. If we go Greasy, we have two chances.
Right.
If we just go last name Greasy, but I think I'll stick with those 4. I that's where I feel comfortable.
Okay. So we will check in with Dan Marino, Tua Tagovailoa, Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
All right. And Admiral Akbar.
All right, this is interesting. We went the obvious ones to us were Marina, Tua, Tannehill, and Greasy, and then we decided. Give me pause there, and we decided to check in for our 5th with Jay Fiedler.
All right. Say that list one more time.
Marino, Tua, Tannehill, Greasy, and Fielder. Or Fiedler.
Fielder?
Fiedler.
Fiedler.
Prince
Prince
Fielder.
Fielder was on
the nephew
You
of
get 2. You get Cecil and Prince, actually, if you went with Fielder.
the
That's
nephew of
true, but
what
only
was his
one
first name?
is only one's a hefty lefty.
You know
He's got 2 Greasies and 2 Fielders. That's 7 guys. That's too many.
He's the one whose uncle was Arthur Fiedler, the famous conductor of the Boston Pops.
David,
That's the oldest thing you've said.
Yes,
man. That has
exactly.
replaced Nurse Ratchet Bob Cratchit as the oldest thing ever on the
who
podcast.
do you think is listening to this, Mason?
David, we want to keep listeners.
All right, I'll shut up now.
All right. Well, starting from the top again, we have Dan Marino, 1984, passed for 48 touchdowns. He's number 1. Number 2, 2014, 27 touchdowns, Ryan Tannehill. 2022, 25 touchdowns. That's Tua Tagovailoa. In 1977, 4th place goes to Bob Greasy with 22 touchdowns. And in 2001, with 20 touchdowns, we have Jay Fiedler. There were the 5. However,
Whoa.
in 2019, Ryan Fitzpatrick also passed for 20, so he's part of this list as well.
So close.
All right.
So close.
So both
David
teams
gave
getting
us
their
that
points.
answer. Yeah, David gave us Fitzpatrick. So
Let me go back to let me go back to that last question because I forgot to mention the one of the guys on the Falcons list said it was Bob Berry. I just want to give him some. No one's ever mentioned him ever, or will ever. So I didn't want to he's probably listening right now. Sorry, Bob. You are 7th on the list in the Falcons history.
You know what though? I have to tell you, all of my action figures are Bob Berry.
See, it would have worked.
ooh,
All right. So to finish off the Dolphins list, right outside the top 5/6, we have Jay Cutler, who had 19 in 2017. Chad Pennington, also with 19 in 2008. Gus Farrat, 18 in 2005. And Matt Moore had 16 in 2011. So if you guys looking in from the outside there. But yes, both teams getting their points. We're going to move on. Question number 3. The New York Jets.
Oof.
Oy.
Oh.
All right. So this is not just NFL,
Okay.
if that helps.
I was asking
not-
if we're supposed to be even considering AFL, just so you guys know.
It's not the Super Bowl era. It's
Okay.
in that
Okay.
franchise's history.
Okay. Got it. Well, that
Oh.
makes sense. All right. We are going to check in.
All right. Admiral Akbar's pulling guards checked in. Say, hey kids, I need your answer.
I'm gonna say this, Taco. I'm gonna say this to everyone, and I'm from New York. I lived in New York for 30 plus years of my life. This is atrocious. I had more fun learning the name of Austin's dogs than I had thinking about New York Jets quarterbacks. What a sorry, pitiful existence of a franchise. But I might draft Garrett Wilson in fantasy this year.
And if you ask Ed, all of these guys are better than Dak Prescott. So
Correct.
we have.
He's making a face. Okay, good.
There we go. Okay, so we have Vinny Testaverde,
Yep.
Mark Sanchez, Joe Namath, Ryan Fitzpatrick again.
Yep. Chad Pennington again.
Could be Pennington again. Sam Darnold's name was mentioned. I don't like that. I don't like any part of that. Niners legend Sam Darnold. I threw out Favre, and I hate that as well. There's a lot of misery happening.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that they share with that could have been on the Dolphins list, right? I think Brooke Bollinger has suited up for both. I believe Ray Lucas was a quarterback for both. Don't think they're either of those guys.
No.
Oh,
I like those 4, I think, of what is it? Testaverde, Sanchez, Namath, Fitzpatrick.
I don't like them, but
Well, yeah.
Actually, Mark Sanchez, really nice guy. Really nice guy, Mark Sanchez. I don't care about the butt fumble. We all make mistakes. Things happen. He's a really nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy. I haven't met him personally, but he seems like a really
The
nice
butt
guy.
shouldn't have been there. It's the butt's fault. It's not Mark's
is.
fault. It's the butt's fault.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. I don't know that they've had 5 guys that have thrown more than 10 in a season. So sure, I'm fine with that. I'm willing to bet that LaDainian Tomlinson, when he was there, could have possibly led for a season just on his halfback passes. So
Maybe.
I'm good with those 4. That's fine.
Okay, we will check in Vinny Testaverde, Mark Sanchez, Joe Namath, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And Admiral Akbar, your answer, please.
Well, we
Got a
also
lot
threw,
of the same.
we threw around a lot of garbage. We ended up with the same 4. I just want to remind people of my all-time favorite Onion headline, which was "Dickhead in Mark Sanchez jersey turns out to be Mark Sanchez."
Hold on.
So-
we didn't end up with the same 4.
Oh, we didn't. We said Fitzpatrick, Testaverde, Namath, and Sanchez.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I misheard.
Isn't that what they said?
Yes.
I mean, okay. So yes, we had the same 4.
All right, so let's start from the top again. So in 2015, 31 touchdowns. That's right, 31 touchdowns. More than any quarterback has ever passed for touchdowns for the Chicago Bears. Ryan Fitzpatrick with 31 touchdowns in 2015.
Number
He is
one.
number 1 in Jets history. Number 2, 1998, we have Vinny Testaverde. He passed for 29 touchdowns. This is who I thought David was going towards when he asked his clarifying question if this was NFL only.
Was it Aldoro?
In 1960, 26 touchdowns, Al Doro.
He didn't even come up. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So
Shoot.
he's actually number 3, 4, and 5 are all tied with 26 touchdowns. So 26 for all of these guys. 1967, Joe Namath. And in 2011, Mark Sanchez. So both teams getting their points. The guys looking on the outside, 2002, 22 touchdowns for Chad Pennington. 2008, 22 touchdowns, Brett Favre. 1981, 25 touchdowns, one Richard Todd. And in 85 and in 86, Ken O'Brien passed for 25 touchdowns.
Favre didn't even come up in our conversation. That's a little bit scary that we didn't think about that.
That's right. Probably good that we didn't, because we might have guessed him.
We already thrown him in there.
Yeah.
So after the third quarter, this game has tightened up a little bit. Say Hey Kids have 415 and trailing slightly with 410. We have Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards. And that brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Question 1, Gatorade. Question 2, Powerade. Question 3, Prime. And question 4, Body Armor. So Gatorade is in reference to, I don't even know what I did. College football. There it is. Sorry. I apologize. Question 2, Powerade is in reference to the NBA. Question 3, Prime is in reference to the NFL. And question 4, Body Armor is in reference to literature. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1, category Gatorade. Florida Gators football. Last All-American was Cyrus O'Torrance in 2022. Prior to that, they had 3 All-Americans in 2019, all on the offensive side of the ball. Their last offensive All-American came in 2018 when they had 2. So this is a little bit of a choose-your-own-adventure. Either name all 3 from 2019 or either one from 2018.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
I just love how he pronounced it as Cyrus O'Torn, and then it's typed in as Osiris.
Did I say that?
known Irish football player, Cyrus O'Torrance.
Cyrus O'Torrance.
Cyrus O'Torrance.
You know, that guy. He's on the Bills, so no one cares.
He threw for 33 touchdowns.
That's dyslexia, like popping its awful head in just randomly.
Check in with our defensive player.
Yeah.
All right, Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards have checked in. Say hey kids, talk it out.
Should we check in with
give me your answer.
Should we check in with our defensive player?
I think, yeah. I mean, we can't come up with 3 offensive players beyond probably Kyle Pitts, but we've got one defensive name that feels fairly comfortable, and I think that's the best we're gonna have to go with.
Yeah. So we're gonna check in with Jonathan Grenard for 100 points.
Okay, and over to Admiral Akbar. Answer and wager, please.
David, we wagered
100. Yep.
We wagered 100. I was thinking about the offensive guys. I got Pitts, and the other guy that I had in mind was Kadarius Toney, but I couldn't come up with a third. So we went down the defensive route. I remember the Ravens had this guy on their draft board, but they ended up not taking him. And I think he was like 2nd or 3rd team All-American, and that's why I asked that question to clarify. I remember the last name Polite, the defensive guy, Polite.
Kai Polite.
So we checked in with Polite for 100.
Okay, what was the first name of that guy?
I think it starts with a J.
Jachai Polite, right? Jachai. Jachai.
There you go.
Give me 1 sec here.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good. I thought.
David,
Not good.
you checked in with Polite. That was very nice of you.
You kidding me? Really?
Oh, that's come on, David. You've done way worse.
Okay. So the issue I was running into is when I went to this their Wikipedia, and it's Florida Gators All-Americans. That's what it's titled. And you go down and you'll see some players' names. And the 3 offensive players that nobody went with was Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, and Kyle Trask. Those were the 3 offensive. So the 2 defensive players I have were CJ Henderson and Jonathan Grenard. However, when you click on their names and you look at their Wikipedia pages, neither of them are listed as All-Americans. They're listed as All-SEC. So either I don't give anybody points and I take 100 away from them or I give both teams points because Jachai Polite is also listed as All-SEC, not All-American. So technically both teams got the right style answer. So either way, it's a wash with the answers that were given. Either I give both teams points or I don't give anybody points.
We're going for records. Give both teams points.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's what I was planning on doing. So both teams get their points here. And that's just, I don't get it. What Wikipedia was thinking with that whole setup there.
I can't believe I missed Kyle Trask. I had the other 2.
It's fine to me that
Really?
because I don't care about Kyle Trask or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that he plays on.
All right, so both teams getting their points means there's no change in the lead. Still a 5-point lead for Say Hey Kids. On to question number 2, category Powerade. Straightforward question here. In the 2023 NBA draft, a power forward was selected with the 8th and 9th pick. One from the University of Houston, the other one from UCF. Name either.
We'll check in.
Say Hey Kids have checked in. Admiral Akbar's try pulling guards can talk it out now.
Well, we don't have much to talk out. I'm pretty sure there was a guy who went to Houston who was drafted fairly early on. His name was Walker. That's all I've got. I can't remember the UCF guy at all. I can only remember Taco Fall. That was a lot of years ago. So if you're okay with it all, so we can check in with Walker.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, Walker for 100.
All right, and Say Hey Kids.
Yeah, I think the UCF guy might be Taylor Hendricks. He was drafted by the Jazz. David goes, yeah, of course, yeah.
I forgot.
Stretch 4, but I think, I think David's got this. Drafted by Indiana, didn't play much at all this season. Was behind Siakam, but I think it's Jarris Walker. We're checking out with Jarris Walker for 100 points.
All right, both teams getting their points. Yes, Jarris Walker went 8th, and then Taylor Hendricks went 9th. Not much. I mean, is NBA draft? It's just as much as I like to watch it and follow it. I feel like if it's not like one of those big players, it's like it's a bunch of Noah Vonleys that nobody.
Well, then don't bother watching. Don't bother watching this year because it's like the draft is supposed to be terrible.
Let's move on to question 3 because the lead has not changed. Question 3, category Prime. The 2024 NFL schedule was released on May 15th, 2024. 3 teams are scheduled for 6 primetime games. The 49ers, the Cowboys, and what sad AFC team?
We'll check in.
All right. Say Hey Kids checked in. Admiral Akbar is try pulling guards. You guys can talk it out.
David, that was a low blow. You didn't need to say that right before.
Sorry, I was trying to. Yeah, we were talking about our whole conversation in the last couple of minutes has been like, who's sad? The Bills are sad.
The Bills are sad because they lose. The Jags are sad because they're the Jags. And then David's like, oh, the Ravens are sad because they're just letdowns, which is like,
wow. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick my partner, but I think the Jets are sadder than any of that. So I feel like it's got to be the Jets, especially based on the earlier conversation. But I think it's the Jets. I mean, that would make sense because you'd no reason to put them in primetime except for the fact that they're New York and because of AA run, and so that's
well,
sort of
it it would make
Yeah.
even more sense if the NFL has like a rescheduling clause. If you tear your ACL or your Achilles or something, you're just allowed to reschedule all these primetime games.
Well, they do, don't they? Later in the season, don't they?
Yeah,
Don't they pull games?
they'll push games. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they have to put something down because they got to sell tickets. So, all right,
Right.
the Jets seem fair.
Jets seems like the most logical because the Jags have 2 London games this year.
Right.
So I don't think that leaves them with enough time to get 6 primetime games.
I agree.
The AFC South is also sad, so I think it's Jets.
The Jets, Jets. Okay, 100 points on the Jets.
All right. Say hey, kids. Answer and wager.
Don't ever put 100 down on the Jets. Just
Yeah.
for all you bettors out there. Really quickly, I don't want to just gloss over the fact that David tried to like undo or redeem himself for all his old references earlier by doing the AA wrong. That's 12 years old now, David. So that's also no longer
Still good
cool
though. Still
or
good.
hip. Yeah, Taco asked me, but why? Why do you think of them first? And I was like thinking to myself, well, because of the question we had about the quarterbacks, is why I think of them as a sad team. So we also checked in with the Jets for 100 points.
All right, both teams getting their points here. Yeah, it is the New York Jets, and I can't think of a sadder franchise because they have not made the playoffs in, what is it, like 14 years, something like that?
Yeah, since Sanchez.
Right? Is that, ugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How depressing is it that you wish you had Mark Sanchez back? Nice guy, I've heard. Nice guy.
Yeah. Not David doesn't think so, but the rest of us.
Nah.
Real nice guy.
Fair.
All right, so no point differential change at all. It's still a 5-point lead going into the final question. Question 4, category body armor. The annual ESPN The Body issue debuted in 2009 and ran until 2019. It featured many athletes nude or semi-nude. In 2016, The Body issue featured this athlete, its largest athlete by far, weighing in at 325 pounds, according to Wikipedia.
I remember this.
He retired in 2017 and is a 2-time champion. His interception of Phillip Rivers is one of my favorite highlights of all time, especially the one set to Chariots of Fire.
I think I remember like that being like a big thing. Also, is the Body issue not around anymore?
No,
Been gone for 5 years?
right? COVID.
Wow.
A lot's happened in the last 5 years, to be fair.
This podcast popped up. 6
Yeah.
people listen. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, that's fair. Wow. I just didn't realize.
All right. We'll check in.
All right. Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards checked in for the last time. That means say, hey, kids, you guys can talk it out.
Yeah, Taco, I think I got there by Ed saying it's one of my favorite highlights because I know he brings up this guy a lot. I know he's a big Vince Wilfork fan, Eric. So I kind of reverse engineered it. And then I thought I kind of remember the whole thing about him being in the Body issue and then also retiring in 2017 makes sense. So we're going to check in for 100 points with Vince Wilfork.
And over to Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, better than him in the Body issue is him on Hard Knocks wearing the overalls and the cowboy hats, the cowboy hat and the cutoff overalls. Just an absolute classic image burned into my brain. That's why I remember him in the Body issue there. So yeah, we went with Vince Wilfork also for 100 points.
Yeah, if you watch that Hard Knocks, I think it's one of like the first episodes. He's just standing in the field house with the overalls on, with nothing on underneath. It's just no t-shirt or anything. And then Bill O'Brien turns around. That's right, Bill O'Brien turns around and looks at him and just loses it. It's probably the best moment in all of Hard Knocks. But yes, both teams getting their points. It is legendary defensive nose tackle, defensive tackle, whatever position you want to call him. Vince Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork, when you take into account his size, is maybe one of the most freak athletes on planet Earth.
He's I'm not a Patriots fan, and I'm not a Miami Hurricanes fan, and he is one of my favorite players of all time. He is
awesome.
Yeah. The game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. Coming in with a more than respectable 810 points, we have Admiral Akbar's trap pulling guards, and today's clipboard captains will be receiving the coveted Bob Berry Award. We have the Say Hey Kids. Congratulations, guys. But with that said, Austin, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. You're more than welcome to come back absolutely anytime. But before we call it a night, anything you want to say before we end this?
I got a couple things, I guess. Thanks for having me on again. I felt like I knew more answers this time around, so that was good. Good question writing. We knew a lot of them, but they weren't easy. Second thing is it's almost Olympics time. A big time weightlifter. Shout out to Team USA. We have 5 Olympians going to represent our country this year in weightlifting. So good luck to Jordan, Hampton, Wes, Mary, and Olivia. Look out for those names if you guys are watching the Olympics this summer. They're all very good athletes, and Olivia Reeves and Mary Tyson Lappin both have very, very high chances of medaling, and Olivia may even win. So check those guys out, support our sport, and then tell your loved ones that you love them. I got a buddy from high school who's a firefighter who just recently went into a building to save what he thought were children in the building and received 3rd-degree burns on 40% of his body. Ooh. So hug your loved ones, tell your first responders, friends that you love them. Those guys do a lot for us. Yeah.
Well said. Anything anybody wants to say before we go?
Yeah, just a great game. It was a lot of fun. All the rounds were really enjoyable in their own specific way. Besides, I think, for the Jets question, which is inevitable because you're doing all the teams and we had to do it at some time. So I'm glad it's over. But yeah, other than that, it was a really fun game. So.
And I want it known for the record that I was absolutely zero help in that entire fourth quarter. That was all Scott, MVP of the day. He can have my half of the Bob Berry trophy. He can take the whole thing.
I don't think I'm going to be able to live with myself that we lost this game because I couldn't come up with a white and nerdy quote. That's just too harsh.
Honestly, David, the missing link, I feel once I saw that you were on the recording, because when I wrote that, I didn't realize you were. Once I saw it, I'm like, he's going to know it based off first one.
No, the funny thing is
Spurrier and be like, oh no, that's somebody that makes Spurs. All right, we got this. Let's. The
embarrassing thing is that Dan and I have riffed on exactly this topic of doing that exact missing link, and I still didn't come up with it, so I'm even more embarrassed. Yeah,
I opened a missing link a while back with D. Milliner, and that was like somebody's immediate guess.
That's awesome.
So, and because I know, Taco, you wanted, you were expecting a Cooper at the end. I was so tempted to use DJ Cooper again, but I didn't. I was responsible. And I didn't
good for you.
So I'm patting myself on the back. All right. Well, anyway, on behalf of Mr. Lux, Mr. Grimes, Taco, and Austin Owings, my name has been Eric Eid. Thank you for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm. And before we leave, because I edit this and it doesn't matter. I can say this. I was at work today and someone came around the corner and said, there's a tick on this guy.
Oh no.
And I'm not even kidding. There was this old gentleman had a tick on the front of his neck. And how do you not know it is there? I don't know. But then I'm just like, after we got it off of him, I said, make sure you check your taint. So yes, check your taint for ticks. I don't just say it here. I say it at my actual job. So please, good night.
Ball hit high and deep. Stretch. Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.